Hello everybody, it's Bourbon Bill, and tonight, a very special episode. It's a first time review for anything from this distillery. So buckle up for safety, because it's about to be a wild ride. It's Kings County Distillery out of the not-so-great state of New York at barrel strength. So look out. We're about to be blown away. So I gotta say, I've heard good things, but not a lot. Not a lot. You don't hear about this too often, but I've heard good things about the barrel strength Kings County. So a little story. I was in also the not-so-great state of New Jersey, but I was over there. And in a store, walking by, and what do I behold on the shelf but this Doc Holliday era tonic bottle on the shelf with some black as midnight alcohol in it. And I squinted so I could really make out the typewriter font, and I said, "Is that Kings County?" And they said yes. And I said, is that the barrel strength? And they said, "Yes sir, it is." And I said, "I'll take it. I'll take it." And I took it in exchange for this bottle, $84.99 plus tax. So 85 doll hairs netted me this bottle, which I hear is supposed to be 100. So hey, looks like I made out. Now, this was 3 weeks ago or so. I mean, look how much of this bottle's gone. I had to do this review before I finished it. And if that gives something away, then it does. Now, also, this was some samples to people because they never had it either, right? So I was trying to share the wealth. This wasn't all me, but good Lord, it's going quick. Now, not a lot of info on here, but we'll give you what's on here. Awesome bottle, by the way. It looks like something that would contain arsenic or cocaine, like original Coca-Cola. But believe it or not, it contains just bourbon, straight bourbon whiskey. It says Kings County Distillery, barrel strength. They didn't even bother to capitalize the words barrel strength, just lowercase all the way through. So this one comes in at 66.3% alcohol by volume. Compute. 132.6% alcohol by volume. And for you math whizzes, that's not written anywhere on this bottle. You must, Bourbon Bill, he cheats. He looks at the bottle. Go ahead, it ain't on here. So that's all math up here for that one. Now, the only thing that is really interesting on the back is the mash bill. So typically, bourbon is what? Has to be 51% corn. Typically, rye is a secondary grain. Sometimes it could be wheat. But that's generally what the secondary grain is. And sometimes there's more than two. Usually there is. But the most predominant secondary grain is usually rye or wheat. This mash bill on this bad boy here is 80% New York corn. So you gotta wonder, does pollution play a part in that? 20% UK malt. What the heck? Scotch. United Kingdom Scotch. In here. That's right. It's 80% corn and 20% UK malt. Okay. Aged 4 years or more. This could be 20 years old. We don't know. All jokes aside, they use some pretty small barrels at this distillery. So they do have, I think, some regular sized barrels, but they're using 10, 15 gallon. Pretty small stuff, which is probably why. Look at the color. Why it's so dark. Batch number 16. So apparently they only released, I don't know, roughly 16 of these things ever. So I hear they're pretty rare. Sad, to be honest. Now, the cork on this bad boy is... You hear that? Sweet, number one. Number one is one of the best types of corks. It's that dense type with a nice, heavy metal cap. And this is a bottle that if I took the label off, my wife would put this on the shelf, farmhouse style, Alright, without further ado, how does it taste? Should I buy it if I can find it, Bourbon Bill? We're going to tell you. Color. Color is an A+ on this bad boy. Generally, I say the darker the better, and we are extremely dark here tonight. Let's give it a nosing. Oh my God. This smells like a sun-kissed raisin box. My daughter has like this big tub of sun-kissed raisins, and whenever I pop that lid off, that deep, dark fruit scent of raisins, right on here, right on the nose. Wow. And the alcohol does get you. There is the scent of alcohol does come through. It will singe your nostrils if you get too close at 132.6 proof. It's very dark. It's like figs, dates, raisins, a little bit of like dark berry jam. And you know, the malt note is there, but it just complements those flavors. And this comes from someone that hates single malt, hates Scotch, hate Irish whiskey. Just, it's not for me. And I'm saying it makes a wonderful nose. A lot of vanilla on this as well. So this is something that is quite unique. A little bit different than anything else I've ever smelled, but boy is it good. Alright, let's give it a sip. Oh my God. What a winner. Identical on the palate to what I just said on the nose. It's all dates, raisins, figs. Very dark, fruity, vanilla. The malt note is there, but it plays super well with those dark flavors. Coffee, perhaps, a little bit of coffee in there. It doesn't come off as super old, but has no youth notes. Take a second sip. Boy. Oh, man. I'm going to have to put that one in the back of the liquor cabinet because that needs to stick around to the end of the year for the top 10 bourbons of the year competition. That's how good that is. Wow. So, it is a little drying. We'll say that. A lot of, like, just deep barrel flavors there. It's not bitter oaky. It's not super oaky, but it is a little bit woody. There's really no youth flavors. The malt, I don't even notice. The first sip, you might notice a hint of malt. The second sip, the malt disappears like a magic trick. Gone. So, and you're left with the flavors of the vanilla, the dates, raisins, figs, those kind of things. Just super dark and delicious on the palate. I can't say enough good things about it. A++ rating from Bourbon Bill. Absolutely a buy for around $100 hairs. Okay? Absolutely pick it up. You will not be disappointed. I hear they even have store picks of these. Hell, they're probably even better. So, definitely a buy. Now, I don't really have anything to compare this to because I don't really have any other, like, craft distillery barrel strength type bourbon laying around. Oh, wait. I might have one close comparison. How about a little Chattanooga single barrel coming in almost 119. So, a lot lower proof. I mean, not as dark. Not as dark. Also around 4 years old. God, this is very good too. Wow. Alright, this is really good. This is the fruit, caramel, vanilla. This is more traditional bourbon. It doesn't go as deep and dark as that Kings County, and probably that's kind of because of the proof, also the color. I mean, the Kings County being aged here in like 10, 15 gallon barrels really makes it feel a little older than it is. Really adds more barrel characteristic to it. So those things are kind of just missing from the Chattanooga, but the Chattanooga is also like half price, and it's not half as good. So there you go. So if you can't find, it's not going to be a direct replacement, but it's the only crafty thing I had at roughly the same age at barrel strength. So, in closing, I just got to get back on my soapbox about craft distilleries. Do not put up with cheap, terrible, young-tasting craft whiskey. You don't have to. You have companies like Wilderness Trail, which all I have is a rye barrel strength, so that really wouldn't compare right now. Chattanooga. Kings County. Putting out younger bourbons. Dang delicious, though, with no youth notes. So, how dare you accept some crappy local distillery that's got 4 or 5-year-old juice that tastes like the wooden stick off your Costco popsicle, and then tastes like you're eating raw corn out of the field. You don't need to do that. Okay, that's my point. Another fine craft offering, sure, that's fairly expensive. I think all their offerings are pretty expensive, but you're getting a high quality product there for sure. So if you like what you saw tonight, please like, comment, and most importantly, hit that subscribe button, everyone. Thanks. Have a good evening.